Hello everyone, Brother Yobi here, and today I'll be going over my Week 1 match against Thiccbunny and his Sale Sharpedos for Week 1 of the Support Espeon League. So as I said in my draft analysis, this league is not upload mandatory, and I may or may not be going over team builders. I will be posting a link to my PokePaste with my full team below in the description. So if you want to check that out, feel free to. But here I'll just be going over the match. I'll go over the team quickly. I have a Dragon Dance Darkium Z Tyranitar. It's mostly to catch a max physically defensive Reuniclus. It can do close to 100% at +1. I have a Toxapex that is max physical bulk. It was for the Snorlax, but also a few of his other threats. Then I have Shadow Tag, Choice Scarf, Trick, Gothitelle. It's there mainly for the Seismitoad. I didn't expect him to bring his three really pains in the butt for my team, which are Snorlax, Seismitoad, and Reuniclus. I didn't think they meshed very well together against my team. But individually, they were all going to be a pain. So I figured if one or two of them came, Gothitelle could at least trap one of them and basically render them useless with its Choice Scarf and continue to set up Calm Minds and see what I could do from there. Next, I have a Belly Drum Slurpuff. It's standard Belly Drum, Return, Drain Punch, and Play Rough. I have a specially defensive Palisand, which is there to mostly cover the Thundurus. The Thundurus was a big problem, and even if it has Grass Knot, which you'll see, spoilers, it does, it's very tough for my Palisand to really do much to it anyway. And lastly, I have a mixed bulk kind of Metagross. I forget my exact EV spread, but it's mostly there for the Deancey. And basically the Crobat as well. Those both could cause problems if I didn't have the Tyranitar on there. He also had Heatran on his roster, and I believe I was running an Octoberry to catch it off guard with an Earthquake afterwards. But here we'll just jump right into the match. I decide to lead off with my Palisand. I expect him to lead off with his Thundurus, and that's basically my best check to it, other than possibly Metagross. So we'll jump right into it here. So I lead Palisand, he leads his Thundurus. He goes straight away for the Grass Knot, does like 70% to me, and my Shadow Ball damage actually reveals that he is Assault Vested, which is a big problem. I will pause here because that is a huge problem to my team. Because I don't really have anything that can comfortably switch in on this unless I'm already +1/+1 with my Tyranitar. So right off the bat, big problem with an Assault Vest Thundurus. I thought I was going to be able to at least take it down to like 50 or so percent with a Palisand and wear it down later on, or if he didn't even bring Grass Knot, I would be able to do a lot more with Palisand in this match. But I bring in my Metagross. It's going to eventually scare him out because he goes for a Grass Knot. He sees it doesn't do a ton to me. He Volt Switches, brings me down to like 40%. And I just go for a Zen Headbutt. This is a perfect opportunity to bring in my Gothitelle and trap in this Seismitoad. As he sets up his rocks, I can easily trick him. He cannot switch out, and he is locked into knockoff at this point, which means I can basically stall it out. I hate playing the stall game. I hate stalling, but at this point, I thought it was in my best interest to continue to stall at this point and wear him out and see if I can get to max. Basically, +6 special attack, +6 special defense, and see if I can just turn through his team. My only attacking move is Psyshock, so I won't be able to OHKO the Reuniclus, but that's about the only problem that I could run into with this Gothitelle. And I do this for probably another 30 turns or so, and it actually ends up struggling. The Seismitoad ends up struggling. So I'm just going to skip ahead to wherever that is. And I will just awkwardly talk as you guys are watching me skip ahead. So here we're seeing it struggle now. And I wake up and I end up going for a Psyshock. As you see, my showdown is being really fun. Okay, there we go. We're back at normal now. I wake up and I just decide to side shock it. At this point, I realized, looking back on the match, that I had misplayed incredibly here. As he was struggling, I should have gone into Slurpuff, and I should have belly drummed, because there was nothing he was going to be able to do about it. He was struggling, and if he decided to switch out, I got a free belly drum off, and I got my citrus berry, I got the unburdened, there was nothing he could do to it. And I wish I had realized that in the match. This is going to be kind of the learning curve of this new team, realizing when I could take advantage of it. I'm not used to using such a possibly a setup-heavy team as this one, so it's going to be very new for me, but I think it's going to be very fun. But so Seismitoad goes down. I'm up 6-5 here, and we see that a max +6 Psyshock does like 40% to this Reuniclus, telling me it is max physical defense, basically, pretty much max HP. And we also see here that it has acid armor, which is a perfect counter to my Gothitelle. So I decided to get leftovers here, start getting some little recovery that I can, and he's just going to keep setting up his acid armors. He's going to toxic me. I'm eventually going to rest that off. I'm just going to skip ahead here because everyone's thinking this is going to be a long match. It unfortunately just sucked for both of us at this point. I would like to assume I get the crit here, which is very nice. It means that I'm actually able to switch out, which I take the opportunity to. I go into my Toxapex, and Toxapex really can't do much to this Reuniclus, but I have Haze, which is perfect because my entire team is mostly physical. It can tank anything from my Palisand, and I'm now able to go right into my Tyranitar, and I basically have a free Dragon Dance at this point. At that point, if he wasn't max for HP and defense, it was a roll to whether my Black Hole Eclipse was going to kill it or not. So I end up going for a Dragon Dance as he recovers. So he's at full, and like I said, depending on his spread, if he's not exactly max, this has a chance to kill him. If he's max, I believe it was like a 1% chance that I killed with my spread. So very small chances if he's max, but I didn't think he would run max on Reuniclus, but turns out he lives with like 7%, and he's able to get toxic off of my Tyranitar, which is huge in the long run, especially because now the Snorlax can come in and basically wall me. I would need to be at +2 to be doing like 60% to it. I kind of wish that I had saved my Z-move for the Snorlax and possibly gotten up another Dragon Dance and been able to kill the Reuniclus otherwise. But we actually see that this Snorlax is running counter. That's telling me that it has very little ways to hit my Palisand. That being said, it would need to run Crunch in order to take my Palisand on. But with counter, I don't see him running possibly a Curse or a Recycle set with counter and crunch. So that's what I see here. He goes for counter. We're going to see he sets up a curse right here. I'm realizing he's going to boost out his defenses as I'm boosting my special attack, but I'm going to hit him on the physical side. So it's not going to do much. So I'm basically just going to switch out into my Palisand, hoping that he cannot touch me. If he has crunch or earthquake, he can hit me. But it's not going to be doing a ton of damage to my Palisand. Palisand has very good physical defense, and I'm running max HP on it. So I'd either be able to get a Toxic off on it, or I'd be able to just recover up and wear it down at some point. So he ends up switching out to his Thundurus. I get a Toxic off. I assumed that the Snorlax was not immunity. I assumed it was Gluttony, just because the berries are kind of running wild in this generation. So I get a nice Toxic off on the Thundurus, which is really big for wearing it down because it is Assault Vest. I don't really have much to hit it on the physical side, the best thing I could really do would be to trap it in with Gothitelle, and Gothitelle doesn't even trap it in because it gets it. You saw earlier it has Volt Switch, so struggling a little bit there. It has grass. It shows Grass Knot. I just decided to get a little bit more damage off with a Bullet Punch. I know he's just going to stay in and kill me. He kills me off with the Grass Knot. And this is where I have the opportunity to go into my Gothitelle, and I know I can take anything from it, so I'm just going to rest up here. So I can just rest, get rid of the Toxic, get back to full health, and kind of have an opportunity later on to trap something in if I want to. Here, I know he doesn't have anything to touch my Palisand, or I'm assuming he doesn't, I should say, just because he's continually switching out. So here I get a really good opportunity to get my recovery back. I'm back almost up at full, and I'm able to go into my Toxapex on the Crobat, and I can basically just recover up as he brings in his Diancie, and this is basically where I lose the game. So spoilers, I lose this match to Diancie. This Diancie is going to be a setup Calm Mind Diancie that I really can't do anything about now that my Metagross is down. Once I let my Metagross go down, this basically beat me, as long as he was able to get up 1 or 2 Calm Minds. Here, I probably should have hazed. He was getting greedy, but it completely slipped my mind. This Calm Mind DNC was going to beat me. If it didn't beat me, the Thundurus was probably going to beat me unless I could somehow figure out a way to keep getting it toxic damages on it and not letting it do much. But I just continued to Scald. At least if I hazed, it would have given me a chance later on in the match. But we're going to see this Diancie just sweep through the rest of my team here at the end. This is the second time in a matter of like 2 months that I've been swept by a team that has Mega Diancie on it. So we're going to try and prep a bit better next time I face Mega Diancie and hopefully play better. I definitely see flaws within my my prep and my play. I think I prepped it pretty well, but play-wise, I definitely had mistakes. I definitely should have gotten that opportunity to get my Slurpuff in and get the Belly Drum off. I wish I had done that. I think that would have changed the match entirely because I could OHKO pretty much all of his team at that point, especially since the Seismitoad was struggling. But all in hindsight, I look forward to learning a lot more with this team, and I look forward to bouncing back next week. Great game to Thiccbunny. He is a great player. I've faced him before in his league, and I've played in his league before, so I know how good of a battler and of a prepper he is, or during prep. So I just want to say good game to him. I would like to say there's mutual respect there, so I hope I can meet you in the playoffs, and hopefully I can turn it around. I know you're not hoping for that, but we'll see about that. All right, well, so that was week 1. Hopefully I will have a team builder up for the next match. I have already built for it, and I look forward to recording and playing that match. So thank you for joining me, and have a great day.